it's a flop, you know? It's a movie that
not even really a cult classic, I don't think.
I mean, like...
I guess if you're a Don Bluth fan, it's probably like, you know,
it's a cult classic for like the smallest, uncoolest cult, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, there are dozens of us.
Yeah.
Are we on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, Corey. How are you?
Hi, Katie.
We're a little rusty. It's been a while since we've had an episode, but this is Disco Lemonade, episode 4. I'm Katabulous. I cosplay, I Twitch, and I like talking about obtuse media.
And I am Corey, and I am also here. I am a video guy, animation guy, comedian, podcaster.
Yeah, this is kind of like a podcast, right? Where we talk about things that move us in the way of disco. And if that doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't need to, because it does to me. So today's episode, we're going to talk about Titan AE. Anybody remember this? Gem of a film from 2000. It was a Y2K gem. And also Treasure Planet.
Yes.
So I think let's start with our why, which is a really cringy thing that is said a lot in the education field. You know, like, what is your why? But why these two films together side by side? And why movies? You know, we've been doing a lot of beloved, like, cartoon shows, but now we're diving into movies.
Yeah, and this seemed like a good... I feel like there is some, you know, implicit comparisons to make, of course. They're both space-based. But, like...
There's so many.
But there's a lot more.
Like, just wait. There's, like, the more you talk about them, the more you realize, like, same brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they came out around the same time?
Around the same time. So these two movies are both movies that I consider, like, about the world of animation changing forever, basically, because they're two movies that sort of are peak in terms of blending CGI, which now dominates animated films, and cell animation, you know, which was the way for so long. And so these were two movies with sci-fi, you know, adventure premises, which I think was, I don't know, emblematic of the aughts, of the turn of the century, of the new millennium, or willennium, if you will. And so
and I do.
And I do. And if you don't understand that reference, it's like, fine, and God bless your youth.
You're not a millennial.
You're not a millennial. And so these two movies, I think, just like highlight this very specific time, whereas like culturally we were all about like the future, you know, like 2000, like we're looking forward to the future. And also like what was happening with media and mediums, which we talk about a lot on Disco Lemonade, you know, the medium and how it impacts the storytelling. So two movies that came out around the same time. Treasure Planet was released in 2002. Titan AE was released in 2000. But in doing like very light research, I've learned that probably they actually started production around the same time.
Interesting.
In 1998.
Oh.
So like Treasure Planet took longer to make, which I think you can see in the final product being a little more finished.
Yeah.
But very much these two movies were being made at the same time, even though they were released 2 years apart. And I feel like that happened a lot in the 90s, like Ants and A Bug's Life and Jungle to Jungle and whatever the other movie was. It's just like two movies like that obviously someone shopped around a concept and two people developed scripts and they both came out at the same time.
Wait, what was the other movie, like Jungle to Jungle?
I don't know. It existed.
Okay.
I'll find it. I'll Google it later. You should Google it now. The Thrillennium. Oh. Willennium, Thrillennium, Millennium, Treasure Planet, Titan AE, Y2K, dial-up internet. So let's talk about our first movie. I decided we should go chronologically.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Titan AE did come out first, even though, as I mentioned, I feel like both of these movies started production around the same time in 1998. In the year 2000, Titan AE was released, and I actually have a cute story about its release. So, as far as I know, this is mostly a forgotten movie, and I don't remember there being a lot of hype around it culturally or in the media, but the hype around it was very, very strong with me and my fellow 13-year-old friends. Like, for no good reason, we were so excited about this movie and obsessed with it. Before it came out, we were just like, this is going to be the coolest thing ever. And I think it's because we were 13. And so we had all the love of, you know, kids storytelling and animated movies, but we saw this as something appealing to like who we were now, which is teenagers. You know, the characters are kind of sexy and it's like a little like adult, you know, and it's like adventurous. It's not little kid stuff. So we were very excited for it, and we went to go see it at the movie theater. And we were so upset because we were running late. And we were like, God, we're going to miss the beginning of the movie. And the three of us, go into the movie theater. There's no one else in the movie theater. And there's no movie playing. Because we had arrived late and bought our tickets late. And no one else bought tickets to see that matinee showing of Titan AE. So we literally had to go find an employee and be like, can you start the movie? And they're like, oh, okay, someone, 3 tickets were purchased. I guess we'll play the movie now. So that was a cute experience. We had the theater to ourselves.
That's always fun.
But yeah, it's Titan AE is a Don Bluth joint. And I guess...
Joss Whedon did like a pass of the screenplay or something like that. I don't know. He was not the only credited writer, I don't think.
Joss Whedon definitely had a hand in this, which I totally forgot until you mentioned this now. So Don Bluth production, Joss Whedon did have a hand in the story. So yeah, I mean, like, I feel like at some point, obviously when this was greenlit, they were like, this movie is going to be awesome. It's going to be perfect for the year 2000. And then I guess we could say historically, like, it's a flop, you know? It's a movie that
not even really a cult classic, I don't think.
I mean, like...
I guess if you're a Don Bluth fan, it's probably like, you know,
it's a cult classic for like the smallest, uncoolest cult, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, there are dozens of us.
Yeah, basically anyone who's watching this show.
From chat here, we have a message I saw from Justin to Kelly, the American Idol movie.
Yeah.
And I think we may have been the only 3 people to see it ever. I'm going to confirm that no one else has ever watched that movie except for you and your friends in that theater. Man, Justin to Kelly. That's great. I mean, and that's, I think, what I love to do here is dust off films that nobody else loved, but we're going to try our best to love it. So that's what it is. We could talk a little bit about, like, the story and the plot, but let's talk about the cast.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we have Don Bluth, we have Joss Whedon. Like, people were excited when this movie was greenlit.
Maddie.
We have a trailer.
Dames. Oh, yes.
Maddie Dames. Okay, we'll watch the trailer, right? And then we'll dive into the talent behind it, the story, and why the heck it's worth talking about on a Monday afternoon.
It's Creed.
But yeah, they really were pushing with it, because so that Creed song is not in the movie. It's not a part of the movie. It's not in the end credits. Like, it's not in the movie. But it was hot when they were trying to, you know, release this film. So I guess they were just really hoping that the love of Creed that took us all by a chokehold for like a brief minute in 2000.
You know, those Creed fans that love speculative sci-fi.
They were really hoping that hit song would somehow sell this not hit movie.
Titan AE, get ready for the human race.
Wait, that was the subtitle? Get ready for the... Or is that the tagline? Or is that like the...
No, that is the tagline.
Get ready for the human race.
Get ready for the human race. Oh man, I love that's the tagline. Obviously I didn't watch this trailer before deciding to play it. Yeah, race to what?
Human race. I guess
get
the race
ready
to the thing?
So I feel like that tagline in and of itself writes the whole formula for why this film is like such a tragic failure.
Yeah, because no one knew what it was about.
Yeah, because what the fuck? Yeah, what is it about? What is it about? But it did have a lot of talent behind it. Mm-hmm. So you already mentioned Maddie Dames. Mm-hmm. is our protagonist. He plays the main character, Kale. We've got President of Independence Day, Bill Pullman, who I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, you can kind of see in Kale's design, like it's a Don Bluth, you know, pretty boy. It's very true to Don Bluth's aesthetic, but like you can kind of see it, like it's referential to Matt Damon. I see it. And I feel like with the character Corso, who's sort of like a mentor, older character to Kale, they were like so kind. Like Bill Pullman's a fine-looking human being, but like they made this character like real sexy, and it makes you appreciate how sexy Bill Pullman's voice actually is.
Oh yeah.
I was very into his performance. Drew Barrymore. I mean, pick two more it actors to be your male and female lead in 2000. We got Matt Damon. Let's go ahead and say it. Young Matt Damon and young Drew Barrymore. Like, they're still important actors today, but in 2000, this was like such a get. And then as our side characters, we have Nathan Lane as one of the alien crew members, and Janine Garofalo, and John Leguizamo in a bizarre voice acting performance as the lovable goon.
As a master, I think it's such a good voice performance out of John Leguizamo in that one, because I didn't even know it was him.
You wouldn't.
I'm usually pretty good about picking out voices in movies, but yeah, he gets lost in that role, which is, you know, you expect that out of, you know, if it was someone who was, I don't know, like a Billy West or someone who's like an established voice actor. Yeah. But John Leguizamo, you don't think of as being like a character actor in that way.
Oh, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think John Leguizamo gets lost in every role. I mean, I think he...
Okay.
I think Leguizamo has a depth we haven't really appreciated.
I agree with that statement.
And this would be a good time for me to like make a tangent into Super Mario Brothers 1993, like I always do, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep talking about the time.
We should look back at the archives and see if we've referenced Super Mario Brothers 1993
I talk about it a lot. But he is the best Luigi ever. But anyway, like, obviously a wildly talented cast. Obviously, big name in Don Bluth. Joss Whedon was a get at the time because that was like the peak of Buffy.
Right, yeah.
So, like, people believed in this movie, and boy, were they horribly, horribly wrong. So let's talk about the story and the world that they build in Titan AE. And I'd like for you to, like, humor me for a second because I think I can speak to the aesthetic of the movie and also tell the story. So I think that visually, this movie does stunning things with color.
Yes, I can see that.
It opens on Earth, a future version of Earth, and we meet young Kale and his father, who's protecting, and is actually the narrator opening the film, protecting a secret. Some technology that the human race has devised that is the reason for their destruction. The Dredge, the bad guys, come and destroy planet Earth. Spoiler alerts, that is how the movie starts. Earth is blown up.
Spoiler alert, it's in the trailer.
But in the colors, it's, I mean, like, you can see it's brown. Like, it is earthy. And you even see, you know, Kale has this little invention that he's working with, and it flows through a creek in the opening scene. And so there's just this very, even though it's the future Earth, there's this very natural, organic feel, but also it's murky. You know, it's not a happy, earthy, natural tones, right? So we get this demise of Earth to start out. And then we kind of see a little bit of the people who destroy Earth, which is the Dredge, who are a complete color contrast, obviously, to the color palette that's established with our protagonist. So the Dredge are these just like bulky, weird, energy, sparkly blue, you know, inhuman. They have subtitles for them because they don't even have voices. It's all just like kind of staticky noise is how they speak. But it's a harsh contrast, right? Immediate into like cold colors from the warm palette we're introduced to. We flash forward 12 years or something, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Now the world is, Earth is destroyed, and Kale is a human lost in space. And we get some of the same earthy tones, but it's definitely, you know, it's different, right? We see Kale is in space now. He's alone. He's isolated. And we see this kind of like the way that they texture the ships and the metal and the technology. It's like, it's not your standard spacey chrome kind of look.
For sure.
It is very sad and worn down, much in the same color palette of Earth right before it's destroyed. Kale, the main character, meets Corso. Corso is his mentor who recruits him to find the contents of a map that his father left him, right? And the map will take them to whatever this big secret was that is the reason Earth was destroyed by the dredge. And so when this journey begins, one of the first places we go is this red planet, Sesharim. And this is just like a stop along the way. This is where one of the clues of the map leads them. But again, it's just this like stark color change that kind of evokes like the journey is underway. So we've departed from Kale's, past on the murky Earth, his present in murky space, and now vibrant red, gorgeous, but also eerie colors. And after this first detour, they learn the location of the Titan. This is the whole thing of the plot, right? It's the Titan. We don't yet really know what the Titan is. We know that it's really, really important. Really stupid subterfuge, honestly, from a writing point of view, in terms of like, this is going to be so important. And then it's like, it's not though, and it doesn't make any sense. You're no J.J. Abrams. But what we see after kind of some adventuring and Kale meeting his lows is that he ends up in a drifter colony, a place where Earth refugees live. And it's here that we start to see a return to the original like Earth Tones palette.
Right.
But, brighter. It's like you can see, it's like the color story it's telling is like, okay, Kale had a bad past. Kale's a like pouty boy that we love. He starts a new adventure and then kind of goes through highs and lows. And then like the turning point of him really embracing his journey is when he meets all of these Earth people and we get back to these earthy colors.
Yeah, but like a tinge of light, tinge of hope.
The light, the hope. So, I mean, it's so subtle. And I honestly didn't think about this until this morning when I was looking back over stills. But there's a color story being told. And I only wish the actual content of the story were as deep and important as the color choices. But it all kind of culminates at the very end when we do find the Titan. It's a machine that... can you describe it? Because I literally need to throw up with how stupid it is. What is the Titan?
It's like a Genesis device, if you want to use Star Trek terms.
Okay.
So it like creates a new planet, basically. Like recreates Earth, and all the DNA samples from all the animals are on it, so it can completely recreate another home planet for humankind, using a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the like climax of the movie where, they're like, oh, hey, these aliens are made of energy. We need a lot of energy. Wait a minute. These are
where the colors culminate. And you can see in this clip, they rechannel the energy of the enemies trying to destroy them to actually power the ship to destroy their enemies and recreate planet Earth. And then we can talk about how stupid that is. Planet Bob.
So that was
and that is the whole movie in colors.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's like the basis of like at least the story arc of like, okay, here's the premise. Earth is destroyed. Kale is our protagonist who is jettisoned into space. And then a figure from his past comes and says, hey, your dad left you a map. It's encoded in this ring in your DNA, and we're going to find the technology that was the reason we were attacked, and it's going to be great. With more. I mean, obviously, now we can really talk about, okay, what else happens in the story and why it is good until it's just not good.
One thing that it kind of begs the question, did they say, because we did watch this like a month ago. Did they say why the dredge didn't like humanity other than like, because it was like they blew up Earth because they had this machine that was going to recreate Earth, but then why did they need that machine if they weren't going to blow up Earth?
Yes. Exactly.
Was it just like, oh, we're energy being, but why humanity specifically? Because there's so many other like carbon-based life forms.
All that they say in the opening monologue is, we created something and it brought the dredge upon us without mercy. So
is the idea that they were like, oh, we gotta make sure that the humans don't spread too far, because that could have been a thing. That's almost like Matrix level or something. Like,
now we're getting somewhere.
Humans are a virus and they're gonna spread if we don't do something about it, and they're gonna overtake the galaxy. So they're kind of this like limiting factor, this filter, but they don't go into that in the movie.
I say that simple like additional exploration of the main premise makes the movie instantly better, Corey. Like there is actually I feel like I took some notes on this. I asked myself while I'm watching this movie on my couch, what is the theme of Titan AE? Key points about the script would have me believe it's about believing in the human race, and that's
that's pretty much it.
Because the literal tagline is "Get ready, for the human race." Like what? Like we live.
Get ready. You're gonna see something you never seen before.
Yeah, it's like something you've never seen before. It's like the only thing. Okay, so but like no part of the movie helps me buy into that. It's like the whole thing is get ready for the human race, and like I'm not ready because no part of the story sells it. And so I feel like humanity in and of itself, like that's a relatable theme. Like every movie is about our humanity, but like the script is so hyper focused on literal humanity,
right?
Like genetically, like biologically, the humans are important, and that kind of gives you the ick, right? Because we have countless sci-fi stories where like all the different beings in the universe are really just reflections of humanity, because that's what storytelling is. And so in this movie they go weirdly literal with like humanity, and normally we're supposed to see the theme and the plot, the story is through the protagonist, right?
Yep. I guess we don't. Yeah.
Like we know that Kale is a pouty boy.
Yeah, he's kind of being dragged along.
Yeah.
The whole time.
And so we're supposed to believe in theory that he's like a reluctant hero.
Yeah.
And then by the end he learns and becomes a hero. But like, what does he learn? Really nothing. No character really changes. And so that's where I feel like there can't ever be too much weight to the story.
Yeah. And all the alien characters were far more interesting than the human. All the human characters are pretty well. The Bill Pullman's character was interesting in a somewhat way, just because he kind of betrayed them, but then he found his his own humanity, his own hope and faith.
So let's talk about that for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. We've got the basic idea, but Bill Pullman's character Corso ends up. He never wanted to find the Titan and save humanity after all. He is jaded just like Kale was at the beginning. Kale at the beginning is like, I don't care about being human. I don't care about finding other humans. I'm just trying to get by. He kind of hates humanity. For why? Like, we don't know. Like, he's just so mad that his dad, like, didn't escape Earth. That he's like, I hate all humans. My dad was always talking about how great humans are, so I hate them. It's like, that's not a relatable character conflict.
I was there when my dad tried to save humanity, and then he did it. So, what's the point?
Yeah.
I feel like it almost maybe is trying to capture like a kind of Gen X, like, slacker, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Everything sucks, so why bother doing anything?
Yeah, so we are to believe that mindset is what is resolved, or like that's where the growth happens throughout the plot of the film. I feel like I'm almost going too hard on it now. Like, it's not an enjoyable story. I mean,
no, yes, the premise is great. I mean, I really do like the idea of like humans are an endangered species in the galaxy.
Yes,
that's a really cool premise. Yes. And like humans are treated as second-class citizens. They show them when Kale's at the like mining facility. They're like, get back there with the other humans. And he's like, I'm not with them. I'm one of the good. I'm one of the good humans.
Oh my god, I hate humans.
He's like self-hating.
I'm
human.
like one of the good ones.
Like, it's a little on the nose. But that's interesting because, you're kind of seeing things usually in sci-fi stories. Humans are, if not like the head dominant species of the galaxy, like they're in the mix. Whereas this one, it's like humans are just kind of like persona non grata in this universe.
And I guess like the question from a writing standpoint is like, what could we learn from that premise? Mm-hmm. And the answer is they didn't do that.
Right.
And
no,
so like we don't know. But I mean, like I think one of the things I wrote in my notes was like a feast for fan fiction.
Yes.
And there is just something inside of me that loves the parts that are good and that are like, oh, what if, like as we go to each new location and meet each new character, like there is a depth there that like it's world building that's hinted at and that I want, but never really happens. And then at the end of it, there's no core story. Like, what does Kale learn? Kale learns to believe in the human race again, but why? Like,
because the hot chick said.
Yeah, it's like there's no powerful character growth. It is interesting that Corso, his mentor, betrays him, and he is actually embodied. Like he's talking Kale up, like, no, we gotta find our way. We gotta make Earth again, even though nobody knows that that's what they're trying to do. And then he ends up being like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to get by in the universe.
Which is a very reasonable thing because he's going on a wild goose chase for all he knows. He doesn't know what this device is that his dad made. Like it could have been like a I don't know, like a food replicator or something that like would be helpful and probably would help humanity. But okay, you found that. Now what? What are you gonna do? If he found the thing and it wasn't literally remaking Earth from scratch, like what would have been the point? I mean, it's already what's the point? But even more so if it was something else.
It's an interesting story. I like all the characters. I like the ride that we go on. It hits all the beats of like backstory, conflict, a betrayal, twist.
Yeah.
We go through all the motions of storytelling, but at the end of, the day, it's like, but there is no story because it's not about anything that we can actually relate to. Like, and I feel like there's so many things that it could have been. Okay, think about this. Like, Kale hates his dad.
Yeah.
Because his dad died. I hate him because he died. And, and so he also resents, like, all of humanity for that reason, okay. And...
Maybe it's the idea, like, he made the thing that made the dredge kill humanity.
They could have really dug into Kale's father as, like, he hates his dad because everyone hates his dad.
Yeah.
Because humanity remembers him as the man whose hubris challenged that's a cool story.
Yeah.
And also, like, you brought up, the dredge, maybe they didn't want humans to spread. It's like, okay, this is a cool thing to have because at the end of the movie, it's like, yay, we get Earth again. So that's cool. But, like, if Earth wasn't destroyed, why are you building this?
Yeah. What was the... Did Kale's dad make...
imperialism?
Yeah? Or did he make some kind of backdoor deal with the dredge that went south? And
there are so many, like, political implications of this that could have been a cool story that are absolutely not explored. It's like a waste of potential.
It almost feels like in earlier drafts there must have been some of that in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone was like, oh no, we got to market this towards kids. We're not going to do anything like that.
And that is a huge part of why this movie is kind of failed in a lot of ways. So obviously this script was in the hands of too many chefs. I mean, like you can just tell that there was like a process of like, we don't really, kind of like Frozen 2 where it's like they literally didn't have a story until they like slapped it all together at the end. They just kept producing and kept making content and being like, but we don't actually know the plot. Like that's kind of what happened with Titan AE. And it did kind of balloon beyond its budget. There was a lot of internal conflict over the style of like how much is going to be CG. At one point it's all CG, at one point it's no CG. And just like, so that alone was just oozing money out of the budget. So it's just kind of like a cursed production scenario. And I think another thing it suffers from is the way the voice acting is recorded.
Yeah, it's pretty flat for the most part.
Do you know why it's so flat?
Was it recorded remotely or something?
Exactly.
Interesting.
None of those actors were ever in the same room, and you can feel it and you can hear it. So they get all this top tier talent.
Yeah, and they're not.
And I can only imagine if the script was in flux constantly, you know, like these actors are just being pulled in here and there while they deal with all these other, you know, production catastrophes. You can really hear in the dialogue that, like, they're not talking to each other. You can feel it, and it's weird. So I think that hurts the, like, emotional weight of it.
And that's a good dovetail into my one of the gripes I had with the movie was that there was a lot of rotoscoping in it. And I did look at some behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
And they filmed certain scenes and then basically just traced over it, which can be effective. It's almost like motion capture in a way. But, like, for instance, I want one of the first scenes between Kale and Corso when they're kind of talking at a table. You can tell that, like, okay, this was two actual people that had a scene, and then they, like, did use it as reference. It feels like that's kind of at odds with the performance, because it wasn't them doing this performance. Maybe whoever was doing the reference was listening to what was happening. Maybe they did it beforehand and they just layered the audio in afterwards. So there is, like, that disconnect in there. And also, rotoscoping is not a very dynamic form of animation. Animation inherently is very exaggerated, and I feel like that is when animation is best, is when there is a heightening of human movement, or just any kind of movement, really. And for an action movie, you want to have exaggerated movements to make it more visually pleasing, and there are just so many scenes where it just seemed like, you know, minimal arm and leg movement. No one was reacting to things very big, except for the aliens, which they probably didn't actually have, like, human references for. Yeah. The aliens really overshadowed all the human characters in this movie. I think, obviously to its detriment, because we're supposed to feel for these humans, and
it's all about the human race.
I kind of didn't care about any of the humans.
Get ready.
I loved all three of the, like, alien crew members on the ship were amazing. I loved all of them. All of them I feel like were queer coded in their own way. Sure. Which probably
by
wasn't.
Queer coded, do you mean just they cast Nathan Lane?
Nathan Lane, certainly anything he does, I think, is just inherently going to be queer coded.
In the best way.
In a good way, yes. Janine Garofalo, it did feel like that character, I don't know, that's very the kind of, like, tough,
was of
gruff.
a sapphic nature.
Yeah. And then Goon. What was the
Goon?
He was, like, just maybe more autistic coded, spectrum coded than. But I feel like there's a lot of crossover there too.
Sure. Fair.
So yeah, like, all three of those aliens were, in a way, much more human. They were just. I wanted to know more about them. I wanted to know more about their backstories, and the rest of them were just okay. I kind of got it. I got that.
Yeah.
Corso was a military guy. Kale was, we saw his thing, and what was Drew Barrymore's character's thing? I don't even remember. She had
her thing was that she grew up on a drifter colony.
Oh, right.
And, like, she's obsessed with Earth. So she's got, like, baseballs, and, like, she likes to collect Earth trinkets. Yeah, because she just loves Earth, even though she can't really rember it.
Gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
She's got gadgets and gizmos. Yeah. So she's, like, the soft, like, I love humanity, and I want Earth to be a thing again. And Kale's like, where, and then they fall in love, and then they make a planet, which is what happens when two people love each other very much. I feel like concluding thoughts about, like, the structure of the movie is just that it's a great concept. There's a lot of potential in the concept that for some reason they choose to not capitalize on. So, like, there's great characters, there's great ideas, there are stunning visuals, and then there's no it's like, I guess, just a fraught production. I think you said the word disconnect when talking about the animation, and I think disconnect is the key word across the board. It's just like, you have something here with this premise, and you do nothing with it. Like, it could be about hubris. Humanity's and that was such a hot topic in the end of the 20th century when we literally thought that our whole world was going to crash because of our dependence on computers and Y2K. Yeah. I mean, that was a prescient talking point. And they didn't get into that at all. Instead, it's just about Kale being pouty because his dad died, and then he realizes, I guess I was a dick about that because my planet blew up. Of course, my dad died. I guess I don't blame him anymore.
There are other humans besides my dad that might be good.
Oh my god! Yeah, so there's nothing there. I mean, the whole idea that what the Dredge attacked for is what creates a new planet begs to be a plot about self-fulfilling prophecies and destiny and but all of that depth is completely absent. It's a very straightforward story about person wants to get to thing, there's a betrayal, and then they get to thing at the end, and then kiss roll credits. And also some budget issues definitely kind of took away from some of the visual storytelling. I went through the whole color story that I think is quite beautiful, and it really could have come together at the end when you see New Earth, Planet Bob, but it's tragically hideous. I mean, the animation in those last few seconds is just kind of it's the giving up of the animators and also of the audience. It's we made it to the end of the movie.
We did. You can all go home now.
This is a movie, and it is done. And that is all we can say.
And going back to the animation and disconnect, another thing I noticed was that pretty much all the backgrounds, especially in spaceships, it was computer generated backgrounds, and it just maybe it's because we had just finished watching Reboot, and so it kind of felt like Reboot of a Don Bluth movie should have better animation than this computer animated Canadian show.
Yeah,
and if they had just. This is obviously with the benefit of hindsight 20 years later. Sure. If they had just traced over the backgrounds and just added some details, some texture to it. There's just so many hard angles that a rusty spaceship wouldn't have.
I think that's the thing though that got lost in the they were so over budget and they explored so many different things in the animation that's there's no time for cleanup. Literally just finish this movie, please.
I feel like that's a lot of Don Bluth stuff. I feel like he can only make his own movies because he put so much thought into it normally, and I think he just got pressured with the studio.
Steamrolled by the production of it, and this was his last movie, which is very sad too.
Oh yeah,
this is the end of his career.
That sucks.
Yeah, but okay, let's talk about aesthetics. Let's talk about the look of the movie because as much as I feel like we've just given a really ruthless review of the story, I still it sounds like I hate this movie, but I actually love it, and I've watched it. I had the VHS tape as a kid. I watched it over and over again. I forgot to bring it. I have a Titan AE branded T-shirt from Gadzooks from the mall in 2000. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to bring that. But I was into it, and even as an adult revisiting, I still enjoy watching it while lamenting the tragedy of here's why this movie could have been cool. And just all the dropped balls. But it looks beautiful. So let's talk about the looks.
Yes.
It is, not one of a kind, but few of a kind in this era of trying to bring together cell animation and this newfangled CGI. And it was such a brief window where they were doing that. It's just by the time it was taking off, it's just we're just going to scrap cell animation altogether. It was a very quick pivot from this to this. And so there are very few of these movies that really try to do both at the same time. I think a lot about this image because it's when we see Kale grown up again in outer space, his suit is all CGI. Yeah. And then you just see his weird floating cell animated. And it just doesn't quite fit. But, they did a thing. And I think you can tell where it's cheap and where it's rushed, and that's a problem. But where it works, I think it is really beautiful. One of the things that I like about this style that, we're just never going to see it. It's just, it's not going to happen. We do CGI so well and so cheaply now, it's never going to happen. But, the hand-painted backgrounds that they have... I mean, there's just so you mentioned, all the spaceships, the outer space stuff, it's all CGI. But, the interiors of the spaceships and, the weird little, satellite planets or colonies that they land on, it's all hand-painted and it's gorgeous in its detail. And it's just, I don't know, there's like this marriage of organic and stale, like, or not stale, but sterile with the CGI that like is actually really cool and really effective for this time period and this type of story. Because it is about like these two animation styles are the hard and the soft, the sleek and the organic. And then also like with the theme of this movie and of Treasure Planet, which we'll get into, you know, it's about a blend of space and futurism with, I don't know, a more antiquated classic human.
Yeah.
So metaphorically, I really like that. Maybe I went too deep.
No such thing on this show.
But it's beautiful, yeah. And there's also like, I really like all of the locations. Like, even though the story feels kind of hollow because there's no emotional weight, I was always excited for each new location because everyone has such cool detail and like little things. I'm like, I want to spend a whole movie on this weird little trading planet they go to. And it's like the pieces of the world building seem so fascinating. But again, there's no story to anchor it. So it kind of falls flat.
It almost seems like, I mean, I don't know exactly how much influence Joss Whedon had, but it did remind me of Firefly in a weird way.
Sure.
Yeah, not only that, I guess, humans in space and the ship that they're on is kind of junky, but I guess just the idea of like helping humanity overcome its own darkness and rise above is kind of a similar theme.
For sure. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the look of it, the junkiness, the earthiness. It's like, it's not like a sleek, smooth sci-fi, you know, world. It's rugged.
Yeah.
And I think you can only kind of get that. You can get it now with CGI because we can do amazing things with textures, but like you could only get it with that hand painted detail that I think is great. And of course, you know, it's a Don Bluth joint, so the character design is very, very Don Bluth, but it's like with guns, you know, it's like Don Bluth after dark. You know, so it looks like all of his cutesy like Secret of Nim, Anastasia, but they were trying to do something. Maybe they just couldn't commit.
Yeah.
Is this movie for kids? Is it for adults? Is it for teens? What is it? So they couldn't commit to like, is it a soft animated tale or is it a hard sci-fi adventure? So I think I don't know. I think it's cool that it does look like Don Bluth, but it's obviously something very, very different. Well, as we wrap up talking about Titan AE, like we can say that one of the things that these movies share is taking animation to a darker, kind of more teen, less child place.
Yeah.
And when you think about what's happening at this time period, so Family Guy, which, you know, we've had The Simpsons for ages, but The Simpsons was kind of a unicorn. Family Guy came out in 1999, and that's when we started to get, you know, crass adult animation becoming more marketable.
Yeah.
And Adult Swim.
South Park.
Adult Swim started around 2001. So there was more of a market for animation outside of the typical Disney, you know, formula. And so these two movies were in that time period of just like, well, what if animation could be heavy and...
Yeah.
But I've read a few reviews of both movies that kind of indicate that's why both of them weren't very successful, is that audiences maybe weren't ready for that. They couldn't, there was no audience picking up on this, like, you know, it's kids movie, it's PG, but like also it's a little more sophisticated, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
I feel like past 10 years or so, we're getting to that point where like things can be quote unquote for kids, all ages, but... Yeah.
And I guess I should say in American animation, because obviously we know anime is a totally different story in the market in Japan.
Completely different beast. But, I could definitely see a bit of like MTV Liquid Television, and like Aeon Flux influence in it. I feel like the problem, not even necessarily that they were trying this, they didn't know what it was. Like, I feel like if they'd gone one way or the other, it probably would have been better overall. Yeah. Or at least more of a cult classic. Maybe not better box office.
Too experimental and non-committal. So it's like, in so many ways, animation and storytelling and marketing, like both of these movies could have been, you know, genre changers or, you know, game changers, but they weren't willing with either film to commit hard enough to make that impact.
And something I feel like in adult oriented animation of the time didn't really have, there wasn't a lot of narrative substance in a lot of adults only animation.
Sure,
Adult Swim stuff didn't really have. I mean, you had Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is very silly. Space Ghost reusing
and
cells.
Space Ghost is the seed of all of Adult Swim's content, and Space Ghost
like
is
TBS. I think it was on TBS before it was
really
Adult Swim. I think so.
I thought it was always a Cartoon Network.
Pretty. I think,
William Street,
it
man.
was, yeah.
Always.
But yeah, there was a Family Guy, of course, like bunch of cutaways. Wasn't a lot of the early Simpsons did have like very like family oriented episodes. It kind of felt almost more like a traditional sitcom,
which is an animated sitcom, yeah.
And but by this point it had gotten very silly. They didn't have as many of those kind of like gut punch episodes like they did at the beginning. And so in a way, I feel like if in this time period, if they did try to make these movies more geared toward adults, they probably wouldn't have been very good. They probably would have been very crass, very like a lot of like over the top violence, a lot of like TNA, a lot of
which I will say, like, one of the reasons me and my 13-year-old gal pals really like Titan AE is that, like, there were some little jokes in there. There was some sexy jokes. Like, there's a scene where Kale is naked because he's been injured and Akima is, like, fixing him up, like, playing doctor. And she, like, zings him and just, like, does a sassy thing. And he's kind of like, kind of wishing I had those pants right about now. And it's just like, that's a boner joke. And I am a teenager now, so I get that. And so we were and like, there's some little, you know, entendres that were exciting to a 13-year-old. Probably nothing special to an adult. So before we wrap up talking about Titan AE, talking about Treasure Planet, we can mention the music. Can't share any of it with you because, I mean, this VOD is already muted from the Creed in the
oh, right.
in the trailer, but yeah. But I had the CD. Ooh. I was looking for it today. I was actually hoping I could find it because the CD looks like the ship, the Titan. So it's like really cool, raised ink, like, and I listened to it to death. I know every song word for word from this soundtrack, but it's kind of like nu metal type stuff, but also weirdly Luscious Jackson, which are you familiar with Luscious Jackson? It's just like a experimental hip hop / indie grunge, you know, alternative.
Okay.
And a bunch of bands that you've never heard of and will never hear of again.
I think Lit was the band I was thinking of.
Yes, yep.
That I thought was Creed.
Is Lit, are they the ones that do, no surprise to me, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Lit of that one song fame.
Yeah.
But I like the music a lot. It's some of it's very cringy and like it's just like too trying hard to be edgy.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it for its innocence. This movie, God bless you. You were so innocent and you didn't understand how bad you were. And we'll pour one out for you. Let's talk about Treasure Planet.
Yes. I didn't take good notes for this, but one thing I did write down for AE was something that Kale said. I don't think this future thing exists.
I like that.
Just kind of funny.
There are a lot of lines in Titan AE that I mean, obviously I was obsessed with it as a 13-year-old girl. So like, but there are quotes that I say all the time still today. Which is problematic.
Like what?
I'm really wanting those pants right about now.
Okay.
But also, there's actually a really great scene when we're first introduced to the alien crewmates and we meet Preed, which I'm just now realizing sounds a lot like Creed.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Preed is Nathan Lane's character, and he's like introducing Kale to the ship, and then they meet Janine Garofalo's character, who I can't even remember the name of, but she's the ship's mechanic, and she's just like throwing a fit, and she's like, oh God, ah. And Nathan Lane just says to her as she walks away, fight the good fight, precious. And I say that to this day. When I'm frustrated, I just hear Nathan Lane saying, fight the good fight, precious. Oh, so yeah. Great horrible movie. And I think it's funny, like, I took so many more notes on Titan AE than I did on Treasure Planet.
Oh, interesting.
And I think it's because there's so much to criticize about Titan AE. But like I said, in a good way. A feast for fan fiction. It's like I desperately want to save this movie all these years later. But okay, what is Treasure Planet?
Break
down Treasure Planet for us.
Robert Louis Stevenson wrote about spaceships and
Robert Louis Stevenson's steampunk classic.
Steampunk, yes. With sail surfboards, morphing parrots. So, Treasure Planet, I think I texted you when I watched it. I was like, okay, I get why you chose these two. Daddy issues.
Daddy issues, yes.
I think you just have to. I've been like, when can I bring up daddy issues? Because it's the only thing I can think about when I was watching both of these. So many daddy issues.
Yeah, which is not in the original text of the novel, as far as I remember.
It's not?
I don't think it was like a daddy story. I
mean,
it was just like literally a pirate adventure story. It didn't have to be that.
Was there? So yeah, this is why I wish I had read. I was wanting to read the book before it came in, but it made perfect sense. Long John Silver and Jim having that kind of father-son relationship within the film.
That is in the text, but I feel like maybe it's just not as spelled out.
Maybe
for a modern audience. But okay, we have the trailer. Let's start with the trailer.
It wasn't in the Muppet version for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go home and watch Muppet Treasure Island, but that's a different movie and a different episode. Let's watch the trailer. Hopefully the real trailer and not fan-made.
I love this shot. Where you think it's the moon and it's a space station. That's super cool.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's no moon.
No creed so far.
A bonkers way, like from a practical standpoint, this makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Why would it be curved like that?
Great trailer. No dialogue, no narration, no indication of what the film is about other than like Jim Hawkins screaming "woo!" and like, yeah, it looks like fun. It looks like a fun movie, and it's Disney, so you're gonna watch it. Except for a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Kind of a failure. Not as bad of a blockbuster bomb as Titan AE, but definitely did not do well, and kind of for some of the same reasons probably. So let's talk about our cast. We've got, what did you call him?
JGL?
I just think my wig is falling up my nose. Okay, so JGL as Jim Hawkins, the protagonist, which, you know, this is an important thing. To have like a teenage boy protagonist in a Disney mainline animated film, you know, that hasn't been done a lot.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
It's a lot of princesses, of course.
Yeah.
We get Aladdin. You know, I feel like Aladdin is the most like Jim as a lead. But even like a lot of the boy protagonists are animals. You know, like
oh, sure. You mean
Oliver and Company?
Yeah.
And like Simba. It's like, so I think having like a, you know, kind of a cool teen boy protagonist in a Disney animated film itself was breaking the norm. We have David Hyde Pierce as Delbert Doppler.
Doppler Fraser Crane.
Yeah.
Niles Crane.
Fantastic performance, honestly. And Emma Thompson as like the captain of the ship. And I'm gonna go ahead and say like she has the best performance in the whole movie.
Yeah.
She is exceptional. And this is actually a character, this, you know, lady I've seen cosplayed every now and again, even though this movie is kind of like not a main favorite, not even a cult classic, you know, just people just kind of remember it. But people love cosplaying her because she's a winning character.
Some great character design in this movie.
Yes, I mean, it's Disney, right? So got Martin Short plays this insane robot. Laurie Metcalf is the mother, and Brian Murray, who is an actor that I literally know from nothing else other than one episode of 30 Rock where he plays Jack Donaghy's dad.
Oh, interesting.
But he plays Long John Silver.
Is he like a stage actor, maybe? Okay.
A lot of Broadway. So those are our main characters and our talent. And as Corey mentioned, it's based on the children's classic novel Treasure Island, which has been adapted to film and Muppetry. And then here's this latest iteration. So I was excited about this movie when it came out because I really liked Treasure Island as a kid. I was obsessed with it. And then I really, really liked Muppet Treasure Island. So I was all in on this. It had all the same things I liked about Titan AE, the hybrid style, the kind of edgier cartoon, because I was a teenager now. So it had everything I loved. And it was another version of a classic story that I love. So I was excited for it. So they take Treasure Island and put it in space, and it's steampunk basically because
there's not a lot of steampunk things at this time.
I mean, steampunk was a blip. I'm gonna get canceled for saying that. I know some people are still really into steampunk, but like steampunk is kind of like ska music in that like a lot of people went in on it really hard, but only for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's
like ska music in that I don't want to admit that I do like it. Still.
And so it didn't leave much of an impact on like popular culture. But this movie I think was in that spirit because it wanted to keep the kind of aesthetic of when the story was written, like 1800s piracy era, but like, make it in space.
It fits beautifully.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
In the story. It doesn't feel forced in like a lot of steampunk things.
It really doesn't, no. Because, I mean, it is a story from that era, but we're telling it in the era of CGI.
Yeah.
I hope everyone knows the plot of Treasure Island, but, like, it's a kid. He finds a map. He goes after this pirate's treasure and meets a bunch of other pirates.
He, commissions a boat, thinking it's just going to be straight for the island, get the treasure, come right back.
Right.
Doesn't realize that there are some moles aboard, or literally the entire crew except for the captain and first mate and the doctor that
they think they're going to find this treasure and they're going to be swindled. They're going to be betrayed, which is another similarity to Titan AE. Kale is recruited for a journey only to find that the whole journey was orchestrated by Corso, who was in line with the enemies all along. And like Corso becomes the surrogate father for Kale in the same way that Long John Silver becomes the surrogate father for Jim, and they are both disappointed by their betrayals. So even though Treasure Planet is based on like an actual like story, that element is interesting that it's also so prevalent in Titan AE.
Which makes me wonder if Treasure Island was an inspiration for Titan AE at some point.
Here's what we know. Don Bluth used to work for Disney.
Yes.
I don't believe that there weren't people whispering to other people. Like these movies were being made at the same time.
Right.
So, and these people, in the industry, like know each other and people talk. I don't know.
Especially, I'm sure the animation industry is probably pretty small, especially at that time.
But yeah, so like the thing that I guess makes it different just from the traditional like adventure story of the novel is that we get a little more character development with Jim. In the novel, he's just kind of like I don't know, like a poor orphan, as main characters from 1800s novels are wont to do. But so Jim is like a troubled kid, and then we learn he's troubled because he's got daddy issues.
So we didn't even have like the mom with the inn in the book?
I don't think it's his mom. There is an inn. I think it's his aunt or like a woman that took him in.
Gotcha.
There definitely is no like, I think it's an aunt
that
owns the inn in the novel. Everyone go read. Let's read.
Yeah.
Let's
2024.
Read.
Let's read.
Let's read a book. Let's read Treasure Island. So yeah, it's a character story. And here's where, let's just go ahead and say it. Treasure Planet is a much better movie than
Yes, I definitely liked Treasure Planet more.
It's just a better movie on like a lot of different levels, but the most important one being that it's like a coherent story. Which, sure, they had the benefit of having like a source material to work with, whereas Titan AE just had no chance. It never knew where it was going. But yeah, this is like a well-crafted story. It has all of the beats. We meet him as a child, just like every Disney movie. You got to see the baby first.
Right.
And then we see him grown up, and the characters are introduced, and then the internal conflict, and then the external conflict, and then, the climax. It's all there, right?
Yeah.
It's a complete story. So that's what makes it a little more palatable. Definitely easier to rewatch and not get mad at it. It's just a nice, fun story. what did you enjoy most about this? It's a better movie. So what did you enjoy most about the story?
The story. I did really enjoy the kind of like, I felt like there was a lot more tension between Jim and Long John Silver than there was between Kale and Corso. As far as like, I genuinely felt that, well, as I was watching it, I felt like it was a little hard to tell how sincere Long John Silver was with Jim. Because he was, saying like, "Oh, I had to say that so the boy would trust me." But even him saying that, you kind of got the sense that like he was lying to his crew, that he really did start developing true feelings. And of course, I guess the end of the movie suggests that as well.
Yeah.
But I think the voice acting was much better in this movie, and I think there was a lot of that nuance in the performances that Titan AE was kind of missing. Yeah,
and I think they did better with the show don't tell. So there is a montage set to one of the goofy nu metal songs on the Titan AE soundtrack where Kale and Corso bond because he lets Kale fly the ship.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a little montage where it's like we're to believe like this is shorthand for their bonding. And then you get the same thing in Treasure Planet. You do get like a Johnny Resnick song over a montage of Jim and Silver growing closer and flashbacks of Jim's daddy issues, that it's like the same length of screen time as what they did in Titan AE, but like it works.
Yeah.
It's like, I see and I feel, and it's all clicking that like these two characters are bonding. Whereas it's like, I see and I feel what you were trying to do here, movie, but it does feel a little flat.
Yes. And I feel like just the sequences themselves were also just more visually interesting, too. Like, there was a lot more going on animation-wise, whereas just a lot of flying around spaceships and Titan AE.
Some context, like Treasure Planet, 4 years of production. Titan AE, 19 months.
Yeah.
So a lot of rushing, a lot of changing.
Probably a fraction of the budget.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know, at the end of the day, like, Disney's not going to put out garbage. Whereas I feel like Titan AE in some ways feels like an unfinished movie, but like they're like, we are not spending any more money on this. Put it in theaters. We're Fox. Like, we don't care.
Yeah, it's like Fox.
Disney was not going to be like, well, it's not really like a final product, but we're going to put, like Disney's not going to do that. That's just not their brand.
Those big eyes, Disney eyes.
Those big Disney eyes. So yeah, I think you're right. The arcs of the characters is more interesting. It flows a little more smoothly. Like visually in Titan AE, I'm like, cool, we're going here. But what is it and why? And everywhere we go in this journey, it's like it makes sense and it progresses. Yeah. Everywhere we go progresses the character growth.
Yes.
And that's what's absent from Titan AE. So that's kind of in a nutshell why it's a better movie. So from chat, we've seen a lot of adultish animated flops. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Talk about a movie I was hyped about that.
Yeah. I was so disillusioned.
It's still a good movie. The Warcraft movie. Do these types of movies just not work at a blockbuster scale? It's an interesting question.
I think they can work. I think they can work. I mean, I feel like there's, especially, I'm trying to think of something that's not like a Pixar movie that was like a blockbuster success and was animated. I feel like Pixar does ride that line of like geared toward adults as well as kids. Like you can, most of the time, Toy Story 3 is a great example. You can watch that on a variety of levels.
Sure.
But, God, what?
I mean, to this day, I don't think we've seen a theatrical release of an adult skewing animated movie that was successful. And, I mean, it is interesting that, like, people are more receptive to that in television.
I was going to say, like, Scanner Darkly, but I don't think that was, like, a blockbuster, really. And barely animated, really.
A couple of nerds saw that movie and nobody else. Like,
it looks like the Simpsons movie's the number one kind of PG-13 animated movie.
Okay.
Then Demon Slayer.
Oh, anime.
The first Slam Dunk.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know
Maybe
what that is.
also anime? And then the One Piece film.
The anime. Okay.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, like,
I think theoretically,
do these movies not work on a blockbuster scale? Well, I mean, we could really get into just like film generally today.
yeah,
Is such a wildly different marketing beast. Like, movies don't do well theatrically, period,
true.
unless they are, one of those sure bet based on source material. It's a Marvel, it's a Batman, it's a, whatever. Something safe that, audiences already like.
kind of franchise.
So definitely with a lot of these animated, with the Final Fantasy film, with Titan AE in particular, these were original stories. And that's kind of a big risk, period, these days. So yeah, maybe they don't work. I was hoping to find some sort of optimistic spin, but yeah, maybe they just don't work.
Yeah, not in America at least.
This is not a thing that people want to see in theaters. This is a thing that quirky people want to watch on DVD and like make podcasts about.
Yeah, talk about it 20 years later.
20 years later. I mentioned before, I did read a lot of reviews of both films that just sort of indicated people weren't here for this content. They didn't want animated, specifically they didn't want animated sci-fi stories. There was something about, like, sci-fi is supposed to be serious, maybe.
Right, yeah.
Serious and dark, and animation is not that. And I mean, the next Disney movie that came out after Treasure Planet, I believe, was The Princess and the Frog.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Which, how about that for a pivot? They tried something, very different with Treasure Planet, and then it was very much just like return to form of just like, let's make a princess movie.
I could see how merchandising might be an issue for Treasure Planet.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Which,
I guess you could have like action figures of them, but there's something about even something like Princess and the Frog. Like, there's iconic cutesy characters.
yes.
There weren't a lot of cutesy characters in this movie,
No,
really.
they tried.
They were all, and I love the character design. Don't get me wrong. I love the
But
way
no, you're
Long John-
right. Like, to keep what they were going for aesthetically, which we can move on to the
Yeah.
aesthetics of the film too. To keep that, there was they couldn't do too much in the traditional way of Disney cuteness. Our cute animal sidekick is
kind of disturbing.
a gooey little guy.
He's cute, but like very like just unnerving.
Yeah.
Just the idea that this thing can just turn into like a little version of you.
He's bizarre.
Is unsettling. Which again, I love that, but very hard to market and merchandise to a
Yeah. It
mainstream crowd.
wasn't enough for kids to become a cash cow of merchandise, which is, I guess, why we make movies. And it wasn't pleasing enough to adults to be like, oh, this is groundbreaking. This is something new in animation. Like, it didn't go hard enough in any one kind of direction. Same as Titan A. But part of the reason, we put these two together is because aesthetically they're very similar. What we get in Treasure Planet that's kind of an extra layer of cool is not just we're blending CGI and cell animation, but in production they had something that they called the 70-30 rule. Which was, at all times, visually they're trying to keep 70%, 1800s village pirate look. 70% old, 30% sci-fi, cyberpunk, or steampunk.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah. And so, we do get this very, like, you can see, like, this image has Jim coasting on his cool solar surfer, but like what he's flying over doesn't look like some, crazy planet or, sci-fi fantasy world. It looks like a little village with maybe a few machina interspliced in what's otherwise a normal 1800s seaport.
And even his sail is kind of reminiscent of like Chinese junk ships or something.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have a lot of the same things that we have in Titan AE. So you mentioned that opening shot in the trailer of just like it looks like a crescent moon, but it's actually a spaceport. They do this zoom in of that's all CGI, and you're just like, whoa. But then when you are actually on the spaceport, we go back to cell animation, and you can see all these Victorian era dressed characters, but they're aliens. So that marriage, both of era aesthetics and also animation styles is fun.
It feels warmer and softer than Titan AE does in a way. It's more lived in world.
Yeah, and I think that is honestly, I think, a matter of like budget and skill. Like I just think Treasure Planet is more clean. They did the work of cleaning up the hard edges and making it look very good. And a lot of these stills we're looking at are also like from like the Blu-ray remaster. So like
And I think there's probably a certain amount of like in Titan AE, they didn't want space to look warm and cozy. Like I think it was kind of supposed to be very sterile and uninviting because you want to go back planet side. You want to go back to Earth.
Right.
And so
I would agree. And I think this movie benefits from the same thing too, of like the things that you can do with like, hand painted backgrounds. It's very beautiful. All of the different places that they go are very beautiful. In particular, actual Treasure Planet itself, which is like, we learn is actually like a machine covered in moss. It's just gorgeous.
It's kind of similar to Titan AE in a way, I guess. A planet with a mechanical planet, which I guess, but the Titan wasn't a planet, but it was still very round and like.
I think you're totally onto something though. Yeah. Absolutely. And they kind of look alike. Like the Titan looks like the sphere,
right,
which is the map, but also the sphere, which is the map, looks like the planet. So yeah, that's a weird aesthetic similarity. I could go on and on about how beautiful this is and why it's cool that this is the only era that this happened. This hybrid of CG and cell animation, both being kind of like at their peak of, because I mean, Princess and the Frog was after this movie, and it was back to all basically hand painted, and it was gorgeous. I mean, Princess and the Frog is just. It's the last movie they really did in that style, and you can tell it's like this is the best this type of animation ever got, and it's so beautiful. But we get that in this movie. We get some scenes like these two that I grabbed stills of in particular. There's a scene where we meet Long John Silver, and he's in his kitchen with his cyborg hand, and he's just like flexing on all of his culinary skills.
Again, detailed animation. A lot of thought went into, because they could have just made it like a buzzsaw or something, and like, but no, it's like it folds out, and there's just a lot of just visually pleasing details that they added to this.
And they definitely flex on like what they can do, because those are CG, what they can do with the camera. We see that briefly in a scene where the Benbow Inn is attacked and like they're trying to escape because the pirates are looking for the treasure map. We see like look at that camera work. Like you can't do that with a cell animation. It's like a computer made this. So there are some cool moments. I think arguably in both movies though, it's like the traditional animation that sings the loudest. And it's just kind of cool that they also have CG. I don't know. It's a era of film that's like this was the beginning and the end. These two movies were like, what if it can coexist? And these two movies failed so horribly. And it's just like, no, just Pixar, it's your show now.
And in a way, I feel like we're kind of getting back to that in animation. I feel like there is more of a trend toward recreating some of that traditional cell animation and kind of using the CG animation as like a guide or something. So it's interesting that computer animation need to catch up in a way, or maybe just our sensibilities needed to catch up. And we needed enough of bad CG movies to realize, it's okay if not all the textures are realistic, only some of the textures are realistic. The hair, the clothes, the hair texture realistic, but the rest of it can be cartoony. Like it's interesting that we're kind of figuring this out as we go.
And I see video games making that shift too. I mean, of course, we have plenty of like beautiful games that are hyper realistic, but you see a lot of video games that are like, you don't have to be hyper realistic to be fun and to be aesthetically pleasing, like Cult of the Lamb. There's definitely that shift, which is cool. 20 years later.
Yeah, and especially if we can get on a bit of a video game tangent.
Oh, don't tempt me. Say less, Queen.
It'd be actually really cool if movies went this way. But the fact that so many AAA games, like there's so much money invested in a AAA game that has to be everything to everyone. And so you end up mostly getting kind of bland games, visually impressive games. But they're just like, okay, I played it and I guess it was kind of cool. Like the Avengers game that came out a couple years ago. Looked really cool, but the actual gameplay was like, okay, you do a couple missions and you kind of That's the game. You get to play as different Marvel people, but indie games, I feel like, are where it's at now. And there's so many great indie games out there that are rough around the edges, but you are so innovative in one way or another, either storytelling or gameplay mechanics, that you don't miss like hyper realistic, shading or whatever. And to loop this back into animation,
Right.
hopefully that will eventually, as things become more accessible, as tools become more accessible for creators, hopefully there will be more of this experimental nature that will come into filmmaking. A good example actually would probably be Everything Everywhere All at Once, which their special effects team, I think, was like 6 people. A lot of stuff was fairly, I don't want to say shoestring, but like they were using like After Effects for a lot of things. They're using just kind of simple effects, editing effects to do things. And it's, so engaging in a way that a movie like, again, Marvel, to shit on Marvel again, these bland Marvel movies where it feels like you're on a roller coaster and it's fun, but nothing to write home about. My point being, if I could wrap this up, that
I'm with you. I get it. I see what you're saying.
yeah, like I feel like this hybrid model is still applicable today. Like I think that is where the success is to take the best of both worlds and mixing them in a way that, I don't know, it's easier said than done, of course, I guess.
Sure.
Like, yeah, just make it good. Just have the warm and coziness of cell animation with the surgical precision of computer animation. Just do that.
I mean, I love that summary of it, really, and I like that that's where all of our episodes tend to take us, which is, after kind of examining just, the story elements and what these, pieces of media mean to us, it always comes back to kind of like a discussion of how creators use the medium to tell the story and how that changes over time. But I think you mentioned in our Courage the Cowardly Dog episode, like, you were talking about, something about that hand-drawn animation is you can see the human element.
Yes.
And, I mean, I think you could translate that into all manner of live-action films, too, going as deep as, I'm always such a nerd. I'm always like, bring back practical effects. But, like, going to, puppetry and, like, Jim Henson and, like, practical effects. I do think that you need to see the human element.
And even a very like popular modern example is Grogu in Mandalorian. The fact that he is a real live puppet,
yes,
a real boy,
and not just a CG.
It would have been a complete. I don't think that show would have taken off at all if he wasn't a real puppet.
He wouldn't have been nearly as cute.
No, because his ears flop a little in a way, or like you see the little tiny hairs on his head, and it just feels so much more. It's so intangible for something that is tangible. Yeah, which is.
Well, I think like as art technology has expanded, we it's like I think a lot of CGI movies for a while really suffered from just like same syndrome of just like everybody's animating everything exactly the same way with very little variation, even in character design. It's just like it all just looks the same because it's all made with the same software and not you don't see the human hands and the human pieces. And so that's why I do think, to make it relevant to our topic, that's why I think these two movies are good to bring together to talk about at the same time, because they were both on the cusp of this shift in our mediums with animation, and they both were bad failures commercially. One I think was just a failure entirely. I think Treasure Planet's a good movie.
Oh yeah.
It did okay, but yeah, I mean, like if you look at how much they spent on it and how much it made, and it doesn't continue to make revenue for Disney. Like what?
This is firmly locked in the Disney vault.
Again, it's not like the princesses that just keep generating income from the parks, from the merch, but it's still beautiful.
I was surprised at how much I liked Treasure Planet.
Really?
I was thinking, kind of going, because I had seen Titan AE like in college, and I kind of knew that it was like kind of a meh movie.
Yeah, it's a mess.
wondering if it was going to hold up, and then thinking Treasure Planet was going to be kind of the same thing, and then watching it and being like, oh no, this is actually got some substance to it. I got some feels in there. Yeah, I wanted to. Again, going back to character design, I kind of wanted to hug Long John Silver's. Like he feels like a very warm
and he
character.
Looks horrifying. It's not cute. It is
not really.
It's not even like
he's got the
Disney
little gap
villain
in his,
sexy. You know,
right.
like Maleficent. You know, like there's a lot of Disney villains like who we love because they look cool. Ursula, and he doesn't look like sexy and cool, but you just fall in love with him anyway.
He's so like I guess I'm sure that speaks just to like the pure charm of the voice actor coupled with the animation skills,
which I really like too, just because it is so true to the novel in the first place, which is that Long John Silver is just notoriously charismatic.
Yes.
And we get Tim Curry's beautiful performance. Like, he totally nails that charisma in Muppet Treasure Island. And so I'm glad that is still there in Treasure Planet.
He out-Muppets the Muppets.
He really does.
In that movie, he
gets Silver as a character. So, okay, one final note on Treasure Planet. I think we've established that aesthetically it's a lot like Titan AE. Which is why I think these movies are good side by side, because they came out at the same time when we were trying to explore things visually. So the music in this movie it's not quite like, so Titan AE is like more like a Hollywood blockbuster standard. Like we're just gonna sprinkle in all these pop songs to put on the soundtrack. Treasure Planet was not like other Disney movies. This was like the departure from the standard musical with the characters singing the plot, and instead they had Johnny Resnick of Goo Goo Dolls fame write two pop songs that were used in the movie.
It's written specifically for
the movie. Yeah, written for the movie. It's actually called the main song is called "I'm Still Here" parentheses Jim's theme. So Johnny Resnick was like, yeah, I'm making music for a movie. I'm like Phil Collins.
He wishes he was like Phil Collins.
And the song is fine. I like it. You know, it's fine.
It's kind of on the nose for
it sounds
what's
like
happening.
The Goo Goo Dolls. It sounds like the time that it sounds like 2002 is what it sounds like. And it's a fine song. But I do think it's interesting that that's just one more way that this movie was like Disney trying to do something different. You know, it's like we're got like cool, kind of like a rock guy making music. It's like, but then at the end, just chickening out. It's like, no, we're not going to promote this. We're not going to push it. I'm going to put it in the box. So I have a game, kind of. You know, I like to end with a game. Well, no, wait, I'm sorry. 5 picks. Five picks. 5 picks, and then we'll end with a game. 5-word summary. Let's start with Titan 8.
Oh, God. I'll be honest. I forgot to do the homework for this.
You never do your homework.
I know. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Miss Fabulous.
I did my homework, and my 5-word summary for Titan AE, in conclusion, in 5 words: gorgeous, fun concept, rudderless story.
Yeah.
Right?
Rudderless story.
Okay. Treasure Planet. 5-word summary: heartwarming, swashbuckling, steampunk joyride. I feel like that one they should have put that on the poster.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can.
You got one on the fly. I'm not going to make you do it.
Yeah,
you know, it's only like my favorite part of the podcast, but I'm not going to make you do it.
Let's say for Titan AE, something along the lines of why make Earth go bad? Why make Earth go bad?
Love it.
And for Treasure Planet, pirates, aliens, treasure, fun times.
Fun times. Yeah, I like it. Mine's better, but I like it.
Oh yeah, yours is way better.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is good. I just said I could come up with.
All right, let's talk about peaks and valleys. Do you have a peak for Titan AE? What's the best thing about Titan AE?
The best thing is probably, I'm going to say, but my best thing is John Leguizamo's portrayal of Goon, because I really liked that character. I really liked the like characterization that he brought to it, and also that part where you think he's dead. I was like, oh no, maybe that'll be my feels worthy one.
I can say that a lot of people in response, you know, because I always try to like sprinkle a little of what we're doing on Twitter just to get a feel for people's collective memory of some of the things we look at. And multiple people immediately were just like, I just taking a rest. Like that moment did stand out to people. I think it's hilarious that your peak is John Leguizamo because I literally just wrote...
Oh, Nathan Lane?
Nathan Lane.
Well, I
think Nathan Lane is the goddamn best part of that movie. He's so good. And even when he turns out to be, like, evil, I mean, I think he slays.
He's carrying that movie.
Like, we talked about how there's a disconnect with the voice actors feeling like they're not in the same room, but I never felt like Nathan Lane wasn't completely grounded in every scene.
Yes.
It's so weird, like, trying to think about, like, what do I actually like about this movie? I'm obsessed with it. I've been watching it since I was 13, and what I came up with was Nathan Lane is the best part of this movie. What about Valley? Oh, wait, sorry. No, wait. Let's go to peak for Treasure Planet.
Peak for Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet peak. What's the best thing about Treasure Planet?
I think it's kind of schmaltzy, but the relationship between... Or just Long John Silver in general. Just his characterization, the kind of, like... mentor father relationship he had with Jim, and like I said, how huggable he looked. Like I just wanted to, like, even though he was half metal, he just looked like you just want to give him a hug, like Totoro or something, just like a big squishy kind of like father figure that you wanted to root for. Like you don't want to be, even though you know going in.
He charms you just like he charms Jim. Like even when Jim realizes he screwed him over, he's just like, but I really liked you. You were cool.
And it did. And I was wondering, I don't know if this was intentional, but it did kind of feel like Silver was grooming Jim in a way to like become part of his crew. And it didn't exactly play out like that.
You know, you can't say that word on the internet anymore.
I know, right?
People don't understand the nuance of that word having multiple
right.
words. But go on.
But grooming him in the, I guess, professional capacity.
Yeah, in the normal way that word, yeah.
Because there was nothing, I don't feel there was anything untoward with the relationship whatsoever. But yeah, definitely he felt like he was buttering him up to like, when there was going to be a mutiny to bring him over to his side. But it's not exactly how it played out.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's kind of, and in a way it did eventually, but that wasn't, his plan wasn't to bring Jim for the mutiny.
It's almost like that, you know, sometimes you think the movie is about someone that it's not about. Mm-hmm. But really, you know, when it comes down to it, like the story is in the character who changes.
Yes.
So in that way, I mean, Jim does change. He grows up, but not in any way that, like, I guess getting a father figure helped him to be better. But really,
kind of settle down. Really,
the character that changes is Silver. Mm-hmm. He's the transformation that we're watching. So he's really the heart of the story. So I think that's a fair peak. My peak was, I was trying to think of like the best moment in the movie, and I realized then how well the story moves. Like the pace, there's no dead air, right? There's no down moments. But I really like the kind of plot point where they're getting sucked into a black hole. And, you know, this is when Jim has, like, really become full, like, I'm a pirate now or whatever, you know? And he's doing his job to secure all the lifelines. And one of the stinky pirates, you know, snips Mr. Arrow loose. And so for two reasons, like, you get the pain of Captain Amelia, like, being like, no, Mr. Arrow. But also you see Jim's devastation and they kind of almost backtracking to the beginning of the movie where he's getting arrested by the cops. You know, it's just like, I'm a failure, I'm a mess up, I messed up again. And just knowing that it's not his fault and watching his pain, I felt like that was a real emotional release in the movie for me.
That's your valley?
That's my peak.
Oh, it's your peak. Gotcha.
That's my peak for Treasure Planet.
Peak. Okay.
Yeah. I like how our peaks for Treasure Planet are like, yeah, you know, like the really good storytelling and story moments, and like our peaks for Titan AE, it's like, well, this one actor really saved the movie for me.
Yeah.
What about valleys?
For Titan AE, the valley, everything. Yeah. Like I think, like I mentioned, the backgrounds being a little too harsh, and like just that it was a mess. The story was a mess.
The story's a mess.
And it had so much going for it. But yeah, I guess I can't just say everything. I'm gonna stick with like the way the backgrounds are, because that did take me out of it a couple times. Of like, fair.
I can see that.
Again, a budgetary thing, I'm sure, but
budgetary and also probably just like organizational. So it's like you have all these people working on this really expensive project, but like no one was like making sure that it worked. I think my valley for Titan AE, aside from everything, is like the Dredge. As a villain, just like so uncompelling. Like I'm not really scared of them. I'm not interested by them. They're just sort of like, I know they blew up Earth and somehow still aren't interesting to me. And in particular, in the story, there's a point where Kale and Akima are kidnapped by the Dredge. Yeah. And so this should be a moment where like our protagonist is looking our antagonist in the face, and that should mean something. But it really is just a drag on the whole story. You know, it separates our characters from the crew, and it just actually feels like it's losing momentum to have this run-in with the Dredge that doesn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, they don't even really interact with the Dredge that much, I don't think. No. I think maybe one or two as they're escaping, but yeah, there's no... Yeah, it's no villain speech. The Dredge don't really have any villain speeches.
They're really boring villains.
Yeah, just like, we don't like humans.
But that's like how they would say it in their valleys for Treasure Planet.
Valley would maybe be... Nothing. It's perfect.
I know.
No,
it's so weird because it's by no means a perfect movie. It's a really good movie, but it's not.
No, it's got flaws for sure.
It's no Total Recall. But like when I was trying to think of a valley, I was just like, I don't have one. Like it's such a tight movie. Like the story moves perfectly. Everything looks great. The characters all are balanced. I guess maybe one thing. Well, no. Perfect movie. 10 out of 10. 100% Rotten Tomatoes.
If I had to say something bad about it, okay.
No.
I don't know. I think Martin Short's character, the robot, is a little bit. It's such a strong character to come
to introduce in the
that
last
late
act.
of the movie.
Yes, I agree with that.
Which is in line with the story, but it almost felt like they wanted like a Robin Williams genie kind of character.
Right.
It kind of feels like the way that Martin Short was playing it. Yeah. And I love Martin Short. I think he's such a good actor, but there was something about the character that was a disconnect for me. And I think maybe because that one was more CGI than the other characters.
That's really interesting. And I know just from kind of perusing the fandom that he is maybe one of the more controversial characters. Yeah. Like some people love him, but most people think he's either annoying or just doesn't fit or, or whatever. So that's fair. Untapped potential. Is there anything in Titan AE besides everything, that you wish could have been better or explored in more depth?
I think just more stakes. I think there weren't good stakes. Yes. Like it's weird to say that there weren't stakes in a movie where literally the Earth blows up. But like
it's weird, but it's true, and that is a failure. Like how are you going to take something so epic and still it feels like it doesn't have any stakes? I think you're absolutely right. What did I... Yeah, I wrote down in my notes everything, LOL. I think to me, it comes back to the unkept promise of the monologue. Yeah. The monologue of your movie should be important. Yeah. In writing, in novel writing, they say that like the first line should say everything you really need to say about your novel. In that first line, you're supposed to, hit it. And so this monologue that Kale's dad makes, like, we were humans, we were on the brink of something, and it brought the Dredge. It's like
the brink of something.
And I hate to be a person with a script, but I wrote something in my notes that like I thought was very insightful. Okay, isn't the more interesting story the idea of self-fulfilling prophecy or of preparing for your own planetary destruction? Isn't it dicey to have the fate of the world rest on this child? So, okay, yeah. Basically, the monologue hinted at something really captivating, but in fact, there's nothing there, which is your valley as well. There's no stakes.
No stakes.
So, yeah, I would have liked to see more character development, in particular for Corso. Yeah. Because I feel like he's actually the more interesting villain, the Dredge. And, like, his relationship with Kale or his, growth as a character could have been more compelling. But again, it just wasn't. They just didn't invest in any of their elements.
No, and the there was no provisional government or anything for the humans. There was no like I guess whatever the derelict human refugee settlement maybe had something.
A lot of unfleshed out stuff.
Well, yeah, they have this whole planet. Like that's gonna be an issue. That's gonna be a big problem.
Though. Like what? They just made a planet.
Like I feel like that could be the sequel of like, oh, we did all this and didn't think about the socio-political implications of this whatsoever.
It's way too smart. That's like way too intelligent for what they accomplished with this movie. R.I.P.
That was also my my complaint about Zootopia, is I feel like there was a lot of socio-political implications in this world that no one was talking about.
Fair, yeah.
Like, why do the big old rhinoceroses, do the rhinoceros in the police department get paid the same as the shrew in the police department? Is housing affected in this way? And like, I wouldn't bring it up, but the
housing market of Zootopia.
I wouldn't bring it up, but the whole movie's kind of about like social issues. So anyway, that's for our Zootopia episode.
For the Zootopia
that we'll do
episode.
in 20 years after that came out.
Zootopia, a real estate nightmare. So okay, what about your untapped potential for Treasure Planet?
Treasure Planet. It's hard to say because since it was based on a novel, like they were probably kind of constrained with what they could do story wise.
Sure. And I that's actually something I appreciate about it, is that they don't deviate from, like, they're actually pretty. Which, you know, like when like the Hunger Games movie or like Harry Potter, when those movies were made, you had this insane internet accessed fan base that could criticize everything. There's not a lot of people who have read Treasure Island and like are really hardcore about the film adaptation being true to the source material. But I like that they did stay true, nonetheless.
Okay, one thing I wish they would have explained. How the hell were they breathing?
What do you mean?
They were out in space. It was just open spaceship. There, like, it feels like there should have been at least something of just a line of like, oh, we've got the oxygen bubble.
Well, they do talk about how they have like a gravity field, right? So the reason that they can be on the boat sailing through space is that there is gravity. But they don't address the fact that they can breathe. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, a lot of their problems would have been solved by like a shield, like a force field, kind of thing. Right. With people weren't be just falling into black holes left and right.
That doesn't adhere. Well, they had ropes. They were tied down with ropes. And what more do you want?
You've got this fancy rocket ship, and you're being tethered with regular 50 feet hemp rope.
Yeah, it's a 70-30 rule.
Right, of course. Could have been cyber ropes.
That's so funny that I never thought about that, but you're right. That is weird. My untapped potential is the character Ben.
Okay.
I feel like you're right. He was introduced at a weird point in the movie to be such a big character, but I just adored Martin Short's performance so much, and I was really attached to Ben as a character. And so I guess I'm mad that they didn't make him more important or fit better. I don't know.
Which is hard because what are you going to do? You can't bring him in earlier.
You can't come in earlier.
Wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't. I just feel like they underused Martin Short. Maybe that's shame.
He was almost too slapsticky or something. Like maybe if he had been a little bit
true. And there is a lot of humor in the movie, but it is not so wacky for most of the film until he arrives, and then we're full Robin Williams genie. Like, yeah.
And there should have been there could have been a little bit more pathos or like gravitas to this idea of the being who has been abandoned. Like he's shown in it's the like over the top comedic way of him just like rambling about whatever kooky things, not him like having a nervous breakdown.
Which is kind of true in the novel though. Like Ben he's a comic relief character. He's like an insane man that's been marooned, and so he's like, like kind of like I don't know, Tom Hanks Castaway, like crazy. So
a scene where Ben finds the rope that he was going to hang himself with and used that.
Treasure Planet 2. Now there was going to be a Treasure Planet 2.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What book was that going to be based on?
Treasure Island 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. Okay. Feels-worthy moments. Let us bring our 5 picks to a close. Feels-worthy moment in Titan AE.
Didn't have many feels. That was the problem.
Ooh, sick burn. Sick burn.
Oh, I think where Goon was almost dead. I think
Yes,
that's
yes,
my feels
yes.
worthy.
Mine was when they are in the drifter colony and there's like a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got a picture of her dad on Earth as a soccer player.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the moment that changes Kale into being a little more sympathetic to this cause that we don't actually understand because it's not well written. But it did. I
These
still
humans
liked
had families too?
it. Yeah. But that gave me some feelings. But you're right. Like the core difference between the two movies is Titan AE, no emotional pull. Treasure Planet, solid storytelling. You feel for the characters and you feel the story. So what is your feels-worthy moment for Treasure Planet?
Probably like that specific moment where Jim is hiding in the galley and he overhears Silver talking to his man, saying what a stupid kid he is. And you could just kind of feel that, like, that sense of it. You can almost pinpoint the moment where his heart breaks in half.
Yeah. Which is hard to do with animation, right? Like, normally
It's
that comes
subtle.
down to an acting choice, of the subtle acting choices that live-action actors make. I think mine is kind of similar. My moment where I just, like, really feel is Mr. Mop and Mrs. Bucket. So there's a scene on the ship where Jim is kind of elated because the journey has just begun, and so he's like hanging on the ropes and he's like looking at outer space, and Silver says, I've got 2 friends for you to meet, and like you see this excitement in Jim's face. It's like you realize like he really is a sad boy who has no friends and his dad left him, and he just wants to escape, and have fun, and he looks around and it's like Mr. Mop and Mr. Bucket, and it's like, now get to swabbing the deck. And you get Jim's disappointment, and I don't know, there's like that vulnerability in that moment, which is just animated. It's not even an actor's face, but you can see it. Those are the feels for me.
Something else I was thinking of was there are less humans in Treasure Planet than there are in Titan AE, a movie where humans are supposed to be very rare.
I'm sorry, did you or did you not get ready for the human race?
How could you? How could you get ready for the human race?
That's a good point too. Yeah, most of the characters are non-humanoid aliens. It's really just Jim and his mom.
Yeah, and then I think when they come back, because I was clocking that, I was like, wait a minute, are they the only 2 humans in this whole
seems like
universe? And then when they came back, and it almost seems like maybe they were added in later, there were some humans like at the spaceport when they came back, just quickly in the background. But that was it.
Yeah, that's
literally every other character was some kind of alien.
That's really interesting. I didn't notice that. So yeah, let's bring these 2 movies to a head. This is the game. This is the game for episode 4.
Okay.
Versus, right? Who did it better? We're gonna break it down component by component. Who did it better? Chat, feel free to participate and chime in as always. But let's talk first. Daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
Who did it better?
Daddy. I mean, I think Treasure Planet did it better. Are all these just going to be like, oh, obviously Treasure Planet?
Maybe. But it's interesting when you break it down by component.
For sure, yes.
Because I really
not the shit on your game.
Not that we already have like really gotten to the bone of like why Titan AE is terrible, but why I still want to watch it. I still want to watch it. I'll watch it again. Okay, Daddy Issues. Daddy Issues definitely better in Treasure Planet because they're real and they're grounded in something. Like we feel the emotional weight. We see him as a child watching his dad leave, even though we don't even see Jim's dad. We see his boots.
Oh right, you're just like a shadow.
Away. But that's the genius of like shorthand in filmmaking and storytelling, where it's like you just show enough that we get it immediately. We're like, this is a dad that was always away, and then one day he just goes away for good, and we see how it impacts Jim. Whereas Kale's daddy issues are bonkers. Like you really don't understand. Like other than he's just
convoluted.
Really misplacing his grief, obviously, about losing his dad, it's not compelling.
And even the alien that he lived with on the mine, the scrap thing, was
played
kind
by
of
Tone
his
Loc, by the way.
Yes. Who was like kind of his surrogate father. There wasn't a lot of warmth there either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah,
for him.
Kale's emotions are there, but they make no sense. Whereas Jim's emotions always make sense. You get it. He's also a tough I don't care, bad boy, but like we know he really does care and we get why he feels the way he does.
And I think it helps that Jim is a younger character than
Kale is like 20 years old.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Like probably like 22, 23 because he was maybe like 11 or 12 when
Oh, I read him as much younger.
It was like 12, 15 years after.
15.
Yeah, I guess he was maybe more like 8.
I saw him as like 5 or 6. I saw him as young, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Not specified. And also doesn't matter because there are no stakes.
He made that weird top that his dad was so impressed with.
Yeah, maybe 8. Yeah. Maybe 10. It's hard to know how old cartoon kids are.
I kind of want to make that my untapped potential. Like, they didn't really go into any detail with his like mechanical ability, really.
Yeah, why even? Never mind. I can't. I like literally. We could go on for 5 more hours about all of the things that are in the movie for no reason, and all of the things that could be in the movie but are not.
Yeah.
For some reason. Okay, so win for Treasure Planet. Better daddy issues.
Yes.
Who's got the better heroes? The better protagonists?
I think Treasure Planet.
Probably Treasure Planet.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Jim and Kale did have similar themes.
Poutiness.
Yes, they're both kind of broody, which was the style at the time. Reboot had that as well.
Right.
Which also I was like, oh, come on. But I guess that was just the way things were for male protagonists then. And like I can barely tell you like what Kale's character traits were.
Yeah.
Other than sad and broody. Whereas at least Jim, it felt like he was inexperienced but headstrong. He had a lot of big dreams, but he was directionless, and it felt like this was going to be his inciting incident. This is going to set him straight to go out. Whereas Kale was just seemed happy on the scrap heap. Actually, he was just like, I just want to collect a paycheck. And it didn't seem like he really wanted to do anything that he did.
Yeah, I'm still not clear why he agreed to go on the journey that is the movie, because it doesn't seem like he had any interest.
No one like paid him to do it.
Oh, I know why. It's because of the girl.
Oh.
Right. Which, her whole thing is she's just like kind of hot and sweet. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Again, it was the style at the time.
And I specifically wanted to include Captain Amelia in the heroes conversation because she's so great. Mm-hmm. Great character. Great
character design especially for the era. She didn't feel exploitative or like she was competent and like it's like, oh, this could have easily been. Yeah,
and it's a character that is male in the novel, so it's a cool choice that they made it a female character.
Wasn't that Kermit's character in the
Who did it better, Kermit, or maybe that's the versus we really should be doing is Muppet Treasure Island versus Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, just forget Titan AE altogether.
I can't ever forget it. It's buried in my brain, and that's not necessarily
for better
a good
or
thing,
for worse.
But yeah, it's always going to be there. Okay, villains. Who had the better villains?
Treasure Planet. Mm-hmm. I think not only was Long John Silver a better villain, he's kind of in that weird nebulous, like the sweet spot of villains of where it's like, oh well, maybe he could be redeemed, and he was redeemed, I suppose.
And so is Corso. To be fair,
that's true.
There's 2 villains, right? There's Corso and Preed who betray, and then the Dredge who are just the most like nebulous, like ungrounded
they
villains.
Might as well be a force of nature. Yeah. Like they're not really a villain.
That would be more interesting.
And Long John Silver's heel turn makes much more sense than Corso's heel turn does, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You feel his emotional turmoil, whereas Corso, you kind of logically know that, like, oh, I guess he saw the beauty in humanity as well, or he thought that it was going to be. He thought that it was a wild goose chase, but the minute that it seemed like it could be actual hope, that's when he turned. Mm-hmm. But even then, it still didn't feel. Yeah.
I mean, I think at no point am I afraid watching Titan AE. Yeah. Like, I don't ever feel that just like nervousness for our heroes, and I think that's what makes a good villain. But I've frequently felt the tension and the suspense in Treasure Planet. So that's 0 for 3. Treasure Planet is a better movie.
Yes.
Animation.
Well, Treasure Planet, of course. Not only did they have the big Disney budget, but it just felt
it's like objectively like better.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
they did it better. But I do think that there's something about Titan AE that's just going to live under my skin forever, in that I don't know.
And it's got...
Because it wasn't polished, maybe.
Yeah.
There's something about that I really like, and it could have been... What could have been? Oh, for 4.
Yeah.
Did Titan AE do anything better? Character design.
Well, for human character design, no. I would say definitely Treasure Planet is just better in general. For alien character design, that's hard, because I do like how Jane Garofalo's character, like, it's just very alien. Like her legs are like weird,
not humanoid at all. It's not like Star Trek, like, you know, like we put bumps on him.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that, I think those were interesting character design choices. But then again, a lot of the aliens in Treasure Planet was like a crab man, or like...
The aliens in Treasure Planet are bonkers. There's like one guy that's just like a farting guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then
there's one guy that's just a torso,
There's one
and one
guy
guy's
that's
just a head, and they're best friends.
they're buddies.
Thank God they're best friends. Otherwise...
So, yeah. I like the character design in Titan AE better.
Really?
That might be the only area in which I like the look of it better. It's animated better in Treasure Planet, but design-wise, I like the choices they made in Titan AE.
I'm still going to say Treasure Planet. I'm going to
fair.
stick with that.
That's fair. Music.
This is one where I feel like they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember the difference between the two.
Yeah.
They had very similar musical choices.
We'll call it a tie.
I'll say, yeah. Let's call it a tie.
Okay.
Because if not, I would just say Treasure Planet probably just edges out, because the music was like written for it more so than the...
No. A lot of the songs on the Titan AE soundtrack
really?
are written for... Oh, yeah.
Oh, then, okay.
None of them are particularly good.
No.
But they are about the movie. Okay. Storytelling. I think we know where this is going to go.
Now, if you had overall concept... Is that going to be one of the verses? Like premise,
no.
world?
It can be.
Pure storytelling, Treasure Planet
Okay.
is a better story. As far as like world, because like I said, I like this kind of post-apocalyptic. Earth is gone. Humans are an endangered species. They're second, third-rate citizens in the galaxy.
Yeah.
That has a lot of legs.
So essentially, if we were to give a trophy for like best effort, or like honorable mention, like I don't know, in teaching, in classroom awards, a lot of times we would come up with like things like most potential, it's like for the kid that like really didn't do all, but like we still like you, bro. That's what I feel like Titan AE is. So most potential. Obviously, Titan AE. Yes. Because it's all potential. Because it failed and flopped on every front.
Yeah, because, the world of Treasure Planet is... I didn't feel like I wanted to know more about the world of Treasure Planet. Like, it was cool. Yeah, I did like the aesthetic, but I didn't feel like,
what's... to know more, yeah.
Yeah, whereas Titan AE, everything they did begged the question of, like, well, yeah, what are humans doing now? How are the rest of the alien species
and it's like the kind of thing that like also that potential, and I just think that there's so many potential movies in that in all of its failures. I feel like there's a million new ideas, and that's actually kind of a thing that makes me sad with movies now broadly, just that like because movies like Titan AE fail, we don't take chances on original stories. And an original story in animation, ain't nobody touching that. Like that's too risky. And I think we should be a little more open to risk in our story consumption. But that's, Yeah. So Treasure Planet has like 15 million points in Titan AE. So the impact. And this could be the impact on pop culture, which is like none for both of these movies. So really more just like the impact on you and me in watching these movies.
Impact. My gut says Treasure Planet again because I just feel like it's just a better movie.
It's
but
just a better movie.
if I want to think about like what like moments that would stick with me, yeah, probably still Treasure Planet.
Probably still,
because
yeah.
like I feel like there's any
Fair.
good like iconic moments in Titan AE in my mind.
Yeah.
You obviously you
It's
feel
all
different,
iconic
but
to me because again, I was there, just like watching that movie on repeat constantly. So it was, for me, it was like a meme with my friend group at the time. So like my nostalgia goggles for Titan AE are almost undoable. Like I can't take them off.
Right.
But I have. And so in that way, I think Titan AE is the most impactful movie for me. One, because of how I enjoyed it as a child. And also just like what it represented for me as a child, like the potential of the kind of stories I wanted to consume and the kind of things I wanted to see in media. At an age where, I was starting to like form my own taste, as a teenager. But also as an adult and literally just prepping for this podcast, like rewatching that movie and watching it through what I'm now calling like the Disco Lemonade lens, where I just watch things completely differently. That for me was like a weirdly cathartic and therapeutic experiment of like understanding story and what makes a story good. And,
Interesting.
And I learned that from just like pinpointing everything that makes this terrible movie terrible and why did I watch it so many times as a kid.
I feel like for me, that kind of thing was probably like trauma movies. Like I remember renting Tromeo and Juliet from the video store. And
The video store.
From Video Warehouse or whatever budget version of it, Movie Gallery. And I watched it at least like 4 or 5 times in the like 5-day rental. And it was just, I think it was that kind of thing where like you said, it's like I was just establishing my taste, just figuring out like that I wanted to be a filmmaker or that I wanted to go to film school and like, study film. And it, in a way, the bad things show you more behind the scenes, like more like maybe because of the human element of it, like you feel more connected to the material itself.
Which like what else is storytelling? What else is media good for? Like obviously we know it's an industry and like it's in the capitalist machine that like governs us all, but it's just like sometimes I think we get so obsessed, or the powers that be, the creators that be, get so obsessed with what sells and what gets clicks and what that we lose sight of just like, why do we even need movies? Why do we need stories? It's because of that human urge that we have to like see ourselves and to understand our world and do that through stories. Storytelling is a biological impulse. And
I feel like that's kind of the difference to me between like good storytelling, good films, movies, and content. Content's there just to kind of like not be offensive, not make you think really, just kind of like watch this movie. It
like
feels
every
like a
show
Disney
on
ride.
CBS.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just something to kind of fill the time.
Yeah.
Not challenge really much of anything. If it does challenge you, it's not much more than.
And I think also what we've been able to explore through this podcast is that a lot of storytelling that is bad or has many flaws is like still important, and like we still get something out of consuming that media. I mean, nostalgia plays a big part. Obviously, we've only been exploring very old properties, and we will continue. As we wrap up stream, I do want to make an announcement. So, this is what we do. This is Disco Lemonade. We find obtuse things to watch, and we talk about them in varying levels of depth that no one asked for. And I hope that everyone watching enjoyed it. I hope everyone in chat had a good time. And now you can watch our podcasts on YouTube. Starting tomorrow, our very first episode about gargoyles will be available on YouTube. So I am K-Tabulous on YouTube as well. And so, watch that YouTube tomorrow. Is that how you promote things? I have no idea.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.